Well, I got the 4 days off in a row, so I really don't have any plans per se. I'm just going to kind of hang out and just kind of relax and maybe get a few things done around here that I've been putting off just because I'm lazy. But
I'm surprised you didn't travel somewhere. Doesn't Dokken have a show this weekend?
No,
or something?
there's really nothing going on this weekend. And the thing is that the traffic is just horrendous.
Sure.
So I don't have anything going on this weekend. The next thing I got is Stephen Piercy at over in a venue here about 20 minutes from here on the 13th, I think. 13th of July, and then there's the Loud in Lima that weekend.
Is that only in 2 weeks? I thought it was at the end of the month.
It's the 21st, I think, or something like that. Isn't it like the 21st?
I don't even know. I have not canceled that one yet. I'm still thinking I might go down early, leave here at like 2, see Dokken play, see Steel Panther play, be back here around midnight.
Right.
That's kind of my tentative plan right now. Is
sure.
Just because I've actually, you mentioned that some people wanted to meet me.
Yes.
Yippee. But, I've actually had a few people that have said they're traveling to take a picture and blah, blah, blah. So it's like, it's one of those things. It's under normal circumstances, it would be like, okay, I'm not going. But I think I'm probably after the month or whatever that I've gone in a row, I'm probably going to need a day to just get the fuck out of here for a minute. So I think I'm going to do that. But, everything else, I canceled my Bruno Mars tickets. I canceled my trip next week, although that wasn't real hard to do. And I'm rearranging shit for my Army reunion, trying to make that work. But other than that, I mean, my summer's going to be fucking staring at cancer.
Right. Well, I booked my room to go see Sammy Lee in Grand Rapids in August.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they were staying at the Hampton Inn and Suites downtown Grand Rapids, so I booked a room. And, I tell you, rooms were a little pricey for Grand Rapids on that weekend at $200 for a king room.
Well, Red Rain is going to be there.
Yeah, that is true.
I mean, come on.
I mean, but for Grand Rapids, I mean, that's not exactly a vacation destination, but $200 a night to stay at the Hampton? Are you kidding me?
It's not the destination, Neely. It's the attraction.
Right.
Rain.
Yeah, but I booked...
First time ever in Grand Rapids, I'm going to assume.
So I booked the room. I booked and paid for the room already, and Sammy got a hold of me this week, and he's like, you better book a room fast because I heard they're going quick.
Yeah.
And, he told me where they were staying, and I looked it up, and sure enough, there were limited rooms already. August 5th. We're talking, over a month from now, and already the rooms or the hotel is booked up.
Well, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy, but I would assume that it's the guys from Richmond, Virginia, drawing in that crowd, bringing them up to Grand Rapids.
I know Sammy hit me up, which I was very appreciative to, even though I had to turn it down about coming. And he was like, I just want to make sure that you know that you're invited and blah, 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 which, I very much appreciate. But as I told Sammy, and I'll say it again here, he said, well, if it wasn't for you and Neely, none of this would be happening, whatever. I was like, yeah, I think it probably had a little bit to do with some songs that were written too. I don't think it was only Neely and I.
No, not at all. Absolutely.
I think maybe we knew the right person to put you in contact with, but if your songs were shit, it wouldn't really matter what we said.
Exactly.
So, but you know what? I'm happy that those guys are getting out there and they're going to get to play some cool gigs in front of a lot of people, and hopefully a few of those dickheads will buy some Red Rain merchandise and, discover the band and get them back out again with somebody else.
Yeah, and at least make their trip break even at the minimum.
Yeah, I mean, at a minimum, at least our fans should definitely, A, identify yourself as a CMS listener so that they know, but B, buy something, you fucking cheap fucks. Buy a shirt, buy a disc, whatever else they're selling, condoms, whatever it is they're selling. Buy something to support these guys,
right,
so that they don't go back and fucking have to sell their houses off to pay for their debt.
Sure. Mark Riggs in the chat room. You'd be surprised, Neely. The rooms are already almost sold out that weekend.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And Jack was like, hey, Neely, just get a room at the fucking Red Roof.
There you go.
Yeah, that's what I like to do. I like a room right next to the crackheads.
What's wrong with that? At least there's some built-in puss.
Crackheads. The crackheads and transients all stay at the Red Roof.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. So anyway, I'm booked up for August 5th to go see Tesla and Red Rain and hang with the boys.
Well, there you go. Maybe you could, just maybe, if you remember, you can push the buttons, or I'll give you the logins, and you can push the little button on your phone and actually broadcast one of the Red Rain songs directly on YouTube Live.
Yeah, well, we'll make that happen, make those arrangements so I don't have to sit there and go, what the fuck did I got to do now?
Oh, it's real. All we got to do is get you the login, because literally you hit the little camera button and it asks you if you want to go live.
All right.
You say yes, and then you're live.
Fair enough. Well, we will definitely want to capture Red Rain and let everybody see these guys in action.
Sure. Or maybe some of your backstage antics. Maybe the wild party that'll be going on there.
Yeah, well, Sammy says he's already invited 30 people to party in my room.
Wow.
Since I got the King Suite.
Look at that. Are they going to be able to fit in that room with all your bitches running around?
Yeah, all my bitches. Yeah. Grand Rapids Snatch.
Well, you said, no, you're not staying by the Red Roof.
No, I'm not staying at the Red Roof. That's somewhere Jackal would stay.
I was going to say, you stay over by the Red Roof, you might get 30 bitches.
Yeah. No.
For about $70.
Nice. Too funny. But, I plan on, getting out a little bit and seeing a couple of shows. I reached out to Stephen Piercy, who's going to be playing in the area on I think, like I said, the 13th of July. So hopefully we'll get him on next week.
Okay.
And talk to him and see what's going on with, the Rat thing and his tour, his solo tour. And, let's catch us all up.
Why not? That sounds good.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. So, and then we were supposed to have an in-studio guest this week, but that will be postponed until next week.
Oh boy, somebody's wife's dead. I mean,
no, it was visitors from out of town that just kind of say, "Hey, we're gonna come through."
Aunt Flo.
Yes, it was. Actually, it was. Well, not that Aunt Flo, but an actual aunt.
Okay.
So it's just like, I can't come. My aunt's coming. I'll do it next week.
All right. Well, that's fine.
Yeah, so that should be good.
Sure.
But anyway, I don't really have a real structured show tonight at all. I figured since it's kind of a weekend thing and it is the holiday, it's going to be kind of a light show.
All right.
And I'm glad to hear your voice is in better form.
Yeah, so far so good. I haven't been coughing. I shook that off around Thursday, so I think we should be okay now.
Good. Well, even with the problems you were having with your voice last week's show was pretty damn funny.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I saw some comments that somebody didn't like you.
Oh, I know. I didn't realize that I'm the biggest racist and homophobe in all of the internet, if not beyond.
Yeah, if not beyond. That was funny.
Yeah.
Not that I disagree with him in any way.
Yeah. I'm a racist and a homophobe.
Yeah, you hate the fags and the niggers. Yeah. I know it. I've heard you say that plenty of times.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's me. Just call me Daniel Carver Jr.
Yep, pretty much. Grand Dragon Neely.
That's me. Too funny. But I answered him back. I'm sure you saw that.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had quite the week on YouTube. We had Artemis Pyle check in.
Oh, yeah, that was the other thing. Artemis Pyle, former Lynyrd Skynyrd drummer, actually replied to our segment about him.
Yeah, said we don't know the facts.
Well, we only read what the story said, and it wasn't us reporting it. It was Rolling Stone.
Yeah. Well, and as I answered Artemis, he is more than welcome to come on the show now.
Yeah, he never did.
If he wants to answer those allegations, I'm more than happy to ask those questions.
Sure.
More than happy to, and won't sandbag him. We'll absolutely be like, dude, say your piece. You know, and I'll tell you the number one question, because, you know, I went and I actually did a little bit of reading about it, and, you know, because I saw all the hate about, oh, Artemis didn't blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay, fair enough if he didn't do that. And, you know, he said the thing about the, that we don't know the facts. Well, the fact that I want to know is, A, why were you accused of it? You know, not just whether it was false or not. And B, regardless of if it was a kid or not, why would you not? You know, one of the things that he said in his thing, I think it was him, was that he didn't want to destroy the kid's life. Well, if somebody was trying to destroy my life, I don't give a fuck who they are.
Right.
I am definitely coming back at them, especially if it's false.
Yeah, especially if it's untrue and it's going to destroy your entire career and reputation and everything else.
Yeah, I'm sure not going to plea down, you know, and accept being labeled a sex offender.
Yeah, especially when it was mentioned in the story.
Yeah, I mean, no, those are the two questions I would love to have answered. Why did this kid say it if it's not true? And why would you accept having to be, you know, registered as a sex offender?
Yeah, why would you wear that stigma if there's no truth to it?
Yeah, did you think it wouldn't matter because you were in Leonard Skinner? You know, I mean, how do you accept that label? There's no way I would ever accept that label.
I agree. I completely agree. If there is absolutely no validity of it whatsoever, I would definitely refute that. The kid will recover.
Yeah, and if the kid's lying, the kid's lying. If the kid commits suicide because of their lie, so be it. There's no fucking way would I wear that label.
Right. I agree.
No way.
So I take it he did not respond.
Well, you've got the CMS request email. That's where I told him to respond to.
Yeah. No, I don't imagine he responded. But, hey, you never know. He may not have checked back on the page or didn't, you know, check his email to see that he got some kind of a notice that there was a response.
Well, here, I'll just put it out there for all the haters that told us what a bunch of dicks we are for daring to say what we said about Artemis. Let him know that he's welcome to come on.
Right.
Open air to tell his side as long as he needs.
Sure.
We got 6 hours to give him.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, anyway, yeah, it was definitely an interesting bag of tricks this week as far as response and reaction, and, you know, especially the one guy with, what was his name, Juan. He said, you guys come off like a couple of real dipshits.
And I was like, so?
He says, so do we give a fuck?
Yeah. I was like, yeah, whatever.
I love it. Anytime you bring up the sacred cows that is being, you know, gay pride or race related things, that's when people get all tweaky.
Yep, they do. And politics too.
Yeah, well, yeah, politics, but yeah. I guess I don't understand why anybody cares that much about any one of those.
No, I don't either. You know why? Because they need something to be outraged about.
I guess, you know, and oh yeah, the other one that I always, you know, in conversation, that is, because I know how people are so sensitive about it, is, you know, when man, it was really hot outside, or wow, look at that storm. I say, yeah, it must be all that man-made global warming.
Yeah, that's another one that pisses people off too. It's real, man.
Yeah.
You're ignoring the science, man.
And even if it was real, why do you care?
Yeah, you'll be dead before it kills anybody.
That's exactly my point.
Stop worrying about what's going to happen to the people of 3 million years from now.
Exactly.
Fuck off.
Yeah. Why do you care?
Yeah.
Why is that so important to you? How does that affect your daily life?
Are you afraid that the dust in your coffin's going to get a sunburn? Shut up.
Exactly. But you know, people are so easily led by what, you know, the mainstream media or the popular belief is, but it's not a consensus.
Yeah, not at all.
So, Yeah, I throw that out there, and you're absolutely right. That's the number one response I always get. It's real.
Yeah,
it's like, what proof do you have that it's real? Because you heard it on CNN?
I saw Michio Kaku, and he said, "Shut up."
And who is he?
Oh, he is, don't you? From Art Bell.
Well, I know, but what I mean is when somebody, somebody references somebody, it's just like, and who are they?
Yeah, how about this? Show me the guy that wasn't paid anything ever for his opinion, and then I might believe it.
Exactly.
But when you're appearing on a TV show, and you're appearing on a TV show that slants to one way or the other, and your opinion matches, fuck off. You're just earning your check. You're an actor. Right.
Or you receive some kind of government grant for your research.
Yeah.
And that research matches whatever the government tells you.
Yeah. Yeah, when the research matches the narrative and you took money for it, fuck off with your opinion.
Exactly. So, anyway, I have fun with those kind of people.
Of course.
Yeah. So, everybody who tunes into the Classic Metal Show, you can join us in the Classic Metal Show chat room. We do have a chat room that's set up. It's called chatandkill.com. All you have to do is spell it out, chatandkill.com, and you can sign in there with your Facebook or your Twitter or the chat wing or what else? What else can you sign in there? Google Plus.
Yeah.
So if you like to jump in the chat room and see the chaos that's often going on in there, that's the place to be.
Sure.
I got an email from our friend Matt from Minnesota.
Okay.
He basically told me he would be coming through the Chicagoland area on Friday and invited me for dinner and a drink.
Oh, I hope you turned that down.
Well, I haven't responded, but I always find it interesting. Getting back to what you said earlier about people saying, well, I'm traveling out to the Loudon Lima. I get a picture.
Yeah.
I want to meet you and take a picture.
Which I'll never understand that. We're just two dickheads.
I know.
What is the attraction? We're two dickheads, and you guys listen to our phone calls.
Yeah, I want to hang out with you dudes, man.
I need a picture for my Facebook of me talking to these two jagoffs that fucking sit at home on Saturdays and talk about bullshit.
Right.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah. That's great. I love it, though. So we will, at least I know for sure, I'm pretty positive Chris will be there, but we will be at the Loudon Lima show on Friday.
Yeah, I'll announce my times for your
photo ops.
Signing.
Yeah, your autographs and photos.
Yeah, I'll once we get verified for the table for my signing, then me and Eddie Trunk will be signing together.
So how funny or how weird will that be for you to meet the Trunkster?
Not weird at all.
No?
What, am I going to be afraid?
No. No, I'm not talking about that. It's just I know that you've never met him.
Yeah, I mean, I'll shake his hand. I'll tell him that George Lynch did not fucking give me the opportunity to shake his hand, that I'm doing it on my own, so he can report that.
Exactly.
If he'd like to. That we didn't break this news that he's shaking my hand. He can feel free to do that. And, and that's it. We'll take a photo and move the fuck on.
There we go. So
I don't care. I mean, whatever. I don't know. I as far as I'm concerned, that's over with. But, I hope he doesn't still have a case of the ass about that.
I don't know. I mean, like I said, seeing him back in the end of April there at the M3 and the reaction that he had, coming over to say hello to me was just, I was kind of like, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I may or may not, and I know this person is listening, so a person that's listening, you'll recognize this when I say it. I may or may not have an Eddie Trunk story this week. I'll put it another way. I definitely have an Eddie Trunk story. I don't know that I'm allowed to say it.
Okay.
So, person that sent it to me yesterday or day before, whatever it was, please tell me if I'm allowed to read the texts.
Oh, okay. Obviously, this is something I'm not aware of.
This is something you definitely are not aware of.
Okay.
And I don't even know that I'm allowed to because it might cause a business problem.
Yeah, I get it, but you can tell me though, right?
Oh, I'll tell you off the air.
Yeah.
Sure.
I don't mean it now. I mean,
But I would love to tell it on the air. I don't know if I'm technically allowed to.
Okay. Well,
it was sent to me under the guise of, hey, I've got an Eddie Trunk story for you.
Oh, very nice.
But I don't know if that means for me or for the Classic Metal Show.
I gotcha.
So, and if I play the accompanying video, it certainly sells it out.
Okay.
So let me figure out what I'm allowed to give up or not.
All right. I'm curious about that.
All right.
Very curious.
I have a couple of mail. I have a mail too. That something I have not shared with you. About an offer I got.
Oh.
Which I'll leave it at that. That'll be something that we do a little later in the show.
Okay.
Because I need to dig out a certain photo and send it to you.
All right.
Yeah, I had an offer made to me this week. And I was told I could share this email, so I will share the email. I don't think I'll share the photo with the chat room, but I will share it with you.
All right.
And it's quite interesting.
Okay.
Sometimes I like this fucking show.
Yeah, I know. Some of the most odd circumstances arise out of the blue, and you're just like, what?
Well, this one is not so odd, I guess. Except that it's me, and from where it stems from is kind of weird.
Okay.
So you'll see when I read it. I'll tell you what. Once we play a couple of songs, I'll dig up the photo. We can do that when we come back.
Sure.
Unless you've got something that you're
not at all. I'm just shooting the shit, getting the vocal cords warmed up, getting into the spirit of the show, and all that fun stuff.
Look at that.
I see that. My hair is sexier than Neely's. Wow.
That's a great head of hair there.
That is. Wow, that's fantastic. I tell you, our fans, everybody, they're so good with the Photoshops.
Yeah, no kidding. Wow.
I've never done a Photoshop. I haven't ever dabbled in that. I'm sure it's not difficult once you know how to do it.
Yeah, it's not crazy hard.
But I've never done Photoshop. I would like to learn it. I'd like to see, how that works or, how easy it is. But some of our fans are just so good at that.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, we are live here on the Classic Metal Show. Happy Independence Day weekend. Everybody join us in the chat room if you choose to get involved with the nonsense that goes on in there. And we do have a request email if you want to send us an email about something on your mind or, want to share something with us. It's request@theclassicmetalshow.com. It was not working for about a couple of days anyway, and people were complaining that their emails got kicked back, but it's back in order again. So if you want to send us an email for any reason, it's request@theclassicmetalshow.com. And, get involved with the show, and let's just hang out and have a good time tonight.
Yep, sounds like a plan.
All right. Is there something you would like to hear?
I have two somethings. Can I pick two?
Sure,
or is that too
why not?
much for me?
Go right ahead.
All right. I don't care which order you play them, but I would like to hear. I saw a request in the chat room earlier for Black Label, and that sounded good to me.
Black Label Society, okay.
So I was thinking maybe from Order of the Black, you play Crazy Horse, because that just has a rip and riff. And then I also would like to hear a little bit of Riot, which I just have been listening to all week. From Fire Down Under, I would like to hear the song Outlaw.
Okay. You did say, what was that?
Black Label?
Yeah.
It's a Crazy Horse.
Crazy. It's the first track up there.
Yep.
All right. Well, we're going to play a couple of tunes. Everybody get a drink, whatever it is that you do. Jump in the chat room, be a part of the show, send us an email, blah, blah, blah. So here it is. This is Zakk Wylde with his Black Label Society. This is Crazy Horse, exclusively here
on your Classic Metal Show.
What's happening? This is Zakk Wylde from Black Label Society, and if you're listening to any Uyghur music or Limp Bizkit or any other horse shit, you don't need to be listening to this show. Take it easy.
Classic metal skill. Classic metal skill.